What's up with y'all? Jay Dinsky. I figure I'll go ahead and redo a video that I made a couple days ago regarding Georgia versus Mr.Williams, aka Young Doug. As you can see, I'm posted in my truck right now. Normally I make videos about trucking. Normally I make videos about, securing your loads and proper foundation, proper fundamentals about that and other things to trucking. So you can catch me on YouTube, JDinsky361, if you want to know something about that. Alright, so pertaining to the Georgia versus Young Doug case, right, the information that I found out, which is quite disturbing, and it really can affect everyone. If this continues and it passes without higher authority stepping in, it is going to be detrimental, very, very detrimental, and it will be in the playbooks, that is, for lawyers and other judges, and definitely for the prosecutor. All right. So the prosecutor called a gentleman to the stand by the name of, I believe his name is Mr. Coperton, aka Little Woody. They just called him Little Woody. So they called Little Woody to the stand, and Little Woody has been on the stand since last Friday, right? So Little Woody has been asked a couple questions at this time frame. What's your name type stuff, just stuff. Well, how old are you? And things like that, which you gave accurate answers to. From simple questions, you gave simple answers. And really, to tell you the truth, I would have did the same thing, right? At the same time, Little Woody basically peep game about the prosecution. So he was like, "Oh, okay, is this what we're doing here? You know what? I plead the fifth." So of course, that had the court, that had the court panties in a bunch. So they go ahead and take a recess, and that was that. And come to find out, sometime that day, there was some kind of ex parte with Little Woody inside your honorable chamber. So apparently the DA was there, the court's security was there, and the shorthand typist was there. So, and Little Woody attorney was there. Well, his stand-in attorney was there. So, somewhere in that process, some stuff is being said, and Little Woody recanted his statement by by converting from pleading the fifth to, all right then, I testify. So now you have it. Monday comes, little Woody is on the stand, and to be frankly honest, you can tell from his body language that he doesn't want to be there. He didn't want to be there in the beginning, from what I see and what I know. You know, everything I'm saying right now, this is all just personal opinion. But at the same time, it's about a situation that had occurred. I'm giving you guys the situation that had occurred. The sidebars is going to be my opinion, and I would say this is my personal opinion, and this is from what I know. Okay, so back to the matter. When little Woody get on the stand, little Woody doesn't seem like he wants to be there. Little Woody is standoffish, you know, and very smart alecky, and just like when questions is asked, you know, about what this detective said, what that detective said, was a question here, was a question there. Little Woody flat out said, look, if that's what I said, I said it. If that's what I said 9-10 years ago, that's what I said to them people. Now we get to the point to whereas Mr. Williams' attorney, I believe his name is Mr. Stills, get word of this ex parte. This is Monday. Mr. Stills get word of this ex parte, and Mr. Still bring it up in court, in open court. You know, get it all on record for the shorthand to go ahead and make sure it's all down there. And he brings up the matter. And as I'm watching this, I see the judge get very agitated. You know, he get agitated like how my uncles used to get agitated when I used to do dumb stuff in the streets, right? He got agitated, right? But he kept his cool about it, right? So he go ahead and say, well, Mr. Still, did you have a spy, or was you ear hustling near my chamber's door? How did you gather this information? Because clearly you giving me word for word from what was said, what was taking place. Which, if he gave him word for word, and Your Honor admitted that he was giving him word for word on the record, there's something fishy going on. So that was my first indication right there to say, yo, right? So Your Honor basically try to pressure Mr. Stills into going ahead and giving him the name of the accomplice. Mr. Still refused. Mr. Still also told him it's lawyer-client confidentiality, and he does not have to express how he got the information, which is true, right? And and let me just, this is a side note, in order for a lawyer to keep his mouth shut, all you gotta do is put $1 in his pocket. He can't tell on you because now he's your lawyer, right? Just for example. Now back to the story. So once he told Mr. Glanville, I believe that's the judge's name. Once he told Mr. Glanville that he's not going to give him any information on how he got it, he's not going to go ahead and basically tell on his source. He's not going to go ahead and get basically disbarred for that. He's not going to do it. So the judge was like, well, if you don't tell me, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to tell me. If you don't tell me, and this part right, here's where I found out what kind of person Mr. Steele was. Right, when he said this, I don't need 5 minutes. I'm not telling you. In a nutshell. Whoa. Right? So when he expressed that to him, the judge at this point would say, you know what? I'm finna hold you in contempt. In open court. He held that man's lawyer in contempt in open court. So now, Mr. Steele was fine with that. Right? He basically sentenced Mr. Steele, which I found out later. A judge can hold a lawyer in contempt of court for, I believe, I want to say if the proper terminology is direct, something about direct. Anyway, like a direct crime or whatever. He can hold him for 20 days. Right, fine him for 20 days. Right. So and I mean, and to tell you the truth, if you guys is not paying attention to this trial, I advise you to check out Georgia Fox News on the internet and keep an eye like wide open to that. You know what I mean? There's a couple other channels on there. There's a couple other things on YouTube that you can find it. I also follow, I believe his name is the lead attorney, right? I also follow him, so I mean, and he'll probably will give you a play-by-play. If you don't believe me, check it out for yourself. And if you need to know what some of these terminology is, I would suggest that you go ahead, if you don't hit the law library and read yourself, is to basically jump on to the lead attorney's YouTube channel and check him out. So back to the case. So he holds him in contempt, and basically, and you know what, and correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong on this before I continue. I mean, you know, we living in this new world, right? This new world, this new sensitivity world, this new sensitive world, right? Where everybody's so sensitive about bullying, right? We living in this sensitive world about bullying and all these other little, you know, whatever they call it. Hey, shoot. What if you fall off your bike and scrape your leg? What you want to do? Freaking throw the ground into freaking jail for it? Like, come on now, like. So anyway, correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds like intimidation to me. That sounds like the judge is basically saying, look, I'm the judge, you're a lawyer, you do what the hell I say when I say it, and I said I want it now. I want the name now. If you don't do it, I'm going to put your ass in jail. That's what that sounds. I mean, cops said that to a whole lot of people before. And, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people crack. You know, people who doesn't have thick skin will freaking crack. Right? So, back to the case. So, Mr. Steele was all cool with the whole contempt, cool with the 20 days, whatever. Right? They come back from recess. He lets them out to go ahead and continue to represent Mr. Williams. Right? So the case goes on. Questions has been arose, and it gets to the point where Mr. Little Woody basically tells the DA, like, look, I don't know what I told them detectives back then. You know, you keep asking me the same old stuff, and the same old stuff, yada, 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 woo-doo-woo-woo. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to lie. I'm going to lie to you, and I'm going to lie to tell you that I don't know, because I don't remember what I told them. If I tell you that's what I said, you're going to try to hold me in contempt and go ahead and like you putting pressure on me. And at this point, I don't remember what I said, so I'll be lying to you if I said that I knew something about it or that I recall one of those situations. So, by him saying that in open court on the stand, I'm like, okay. So as the time goes by, it gets to the point to whereas defense counsel has figured out, like, hey, we're not going to give this information about this ex parte, and what he just did was not cool at all. What he's doing basically seems like he is actually working with the prosecution. For what reasons, we don't know. He's only supposed to be the overseer of this case, to say whether what's allowed, what's not allowed. You know, he can either sustain the objections, or he can go ahead and basically throw them out the window. So they pushed paperwork on him. Mr. Steele pushed paperwork on him, and if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Steele pushed paperwork on him that same exact day. The same exact day that he was reprimanded, he pushed paperwork on him. And from what the paperwork said that Mr. Steele pushed on him, basically everything to the extent to whereas it's biased, I'm not getting a fair case, he's not telling me what was said, why he didn't allow defense in his chamber, and Why was little Woody in the chamber doing an ex parte when little Woody is a sitting witness? So what was said? What was said to little Woody to make little Woody take the stand? Because little Woody just said Friday he pleaded the fifth. So now I feel that I need to know what was going on inside that court in order for my client to have a fair trial. He pushed paperwork on him. Now, the flip side of all this, come to find out that same Friday, and some of this paperwork, I found out about this paperwork that was being pushed because I tuned in on another channel and they had all this information at their disposal. All the paperwork was at their disposal that's been pushed. So that Friday, little Woody's attorney, well, ex-attorney, because little Woody fired that attorney that Monday, I believe. Okay, so little Woody post attorney basically filed paperwork on the judge that same exact day of the ex parte. Same exact day. Not to mention the judge wanted her to come back when they was in court on that Monday. Not to mention that after she got fired already. Not to mention the judge wanted her to come back on the 25th, which is in a couple of days, because he has some personal matters that he wants to go ahead and basically hash out with this attorney, which saying she can be held in contempt for whatever actions that was taken inside the ex parte or after the ex parte. So now this judge is basically, he held one lawyer in contempt, gave him the max of 20 days. He went ahead and basically filed an affidavit on little Woody's attorney, basically accusing this person of I don't know the proper word, but he basically accused her of violating some kind of court matter, and he's held in her in contempt because of that. Right? So let's do a little sidebar real quick. Now, there is other defendants in there with their lawyers. Now, if there's other defendants in there with their lawyers and they hearing this and they seeing this, they all have, and they going by the book. They going by what they know. So if they in here and they going through all this, right, and they saying to themselves, dang, he just did that to him and he's doing that to her. Whoa, what's going on? That's bullying. That's bullying, right? And it's clearly showing that some bias going on. Now, Another attorney has stood up and asked the judge to recuse himself. Also, Mr. Stills asked him to recuse himself the same day as he got hit with the contempt. Judge denied those motions. So that being said, another day in court go by, matters been brought up, more lawyers come out there and basically say, hey, you can't do that. I believe there's a very strong group out there called DACA in Georgia who came to Mr. Steele's aid when the accusation was rose, and basically said that he needs to step down. This is I believe her name is Ashley, right? Basically said he needs to step down under these circumstances, and she hit him with penalty codes. She was hitting him with penalty codes. He needs to step down for this matter. Oh, and if this is the case, then that's not this, that's indirect. And if it's indirect, all this. She was hitting him with some penalty codes to whereas like it was almost as if, right, they was in a boxing ring, and she basically let him start off with everything he was coming with. He was jab, 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 bam, 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 boom, right? Thought it was that, right? So she was taking all that. She was like, ooh, ooh, bam, 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 bam. And then she just seems to go ahead and not even on a wobble. She wasn't even on a wobble, right? She basically was like, Your Honor, if that's the case, boom, 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 right? You still need to go ahead and excuse yourself from that chair. Let another judge go ahead and take. We got to take this to another court right now to go ahead and because my clients have rights. Got to take this to another court right now and let's get this stuff situated. Oh, he was like, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Denied. Thank you for coming in, but that's denied too. Right? So this paperwork has been pushed around. The next day when it comes back, the judge came in there kind of like, you know what I mean? Like he got like he had somebody just hit him with that gut punching motivation, like bam. He was like, ugh. He came in there. He came in there mellow and modest as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Came in there and was like, like he's still trying to put his robe on. Came up in there. So after the facts of all this happens, right? It's getting down to the point. I believe we up to day 7. More paperwork has been pushed on the judge for him to go ahead and step down. More paperwork. Other lawyers came in. Other lawyers of lawyers. Mr. Woody attorney, who's no longer his attorney, came in today and was filing motions of the situation for his client, who the judge was trying to hold in contempt for a matter. And she like, yo, you need to recuse yourself. You know, you need to step down, yada yada yada, whoopty whoop whoop, right? The judge was like, no, I'm not stepping down. I'm not finna give you no immediately paperwork, certification. I'm not finna do none of that. If you guys want this information, you guys gonna have to wait till this trial over, then file your paperwork, and I'll handle it from there. Now, side note, on day when this first had happened, this whole ex parte situation, and when the whole Steele situation, and then the next day after that situation of everything that's been going on, it started to become a little more clear to me that that courtroom, I can't say the whole county because I'm not from Georgia. I'm not from GA. You know, so I can't say. But it clearly shows to me that it's rigged. It is rigged. They want to basically put Mr. Williams behind bars for whatever time they can put him behind bars for, and for whatever reasons they want him behind bars. And they not only using this murder case, but they threw a RICO on top of that because of the situation. It's clearly shown that there's some biased stuff that goes on. Someone is not going to get a fair case, and what I can, from my knowledge, which I'm not that adept with the court laws, the proper penalty codes and everything like that. I'm not that adept with that, but I have knowledge of some of the stuff. And I'm just going off personal opinion. This is just my personal opinion. That judge is gonna have to basically step down from the bench. And when I mean step down from the bench, and this can happen within the next week or so. Today is June the 18th, right? I made the first video of this 2 days ago, and I posted today. But I'm redoing this video because it was kind of noisy in the background. I don't know how this one's gonna come out, so because I got my engine running. But I say that because I said it then, and I'm saying it now. The judge is going to have to step down from the bench, and I mean permanently. The judge is basically going to be forced to take an early retirement. I don't know when he's planning on retiring, but he's going to have to take an early retirement. And this case is the reason why he's going to have to take an early retirement. Because they're going to hold him to be unfit to be an actual judge, and his rulings is so biased to whereas he can't sit any longer. He can't make any more rulings. And you know what that means? That means that anybody that he put behind bars could turn around and file affidavits against that judge, whether if he gave him life sentence, death row, 15 years, 25 years, 5 years, 2 years, anything. All those cases can be ran back through the Supreme Court, and those people, Fulton County is going to have to pay some money, because those people can turn around and be free people, whether they did it or not. Whether if they did it or not. Those people, and the DA office, the head DA, the lead DA, oh, she's gonna have to step down also. She's gonna have to take early retirement also. Because all those cases that was being held, whether they was in his courtroom or someone else's courtroom, those files came to her office on her desk, and she pass out homework to whatever prosecutor who is available or who needed cases. So that DA is going to have to take early retirement too. A couple of the prosecutors, the prosecutor in this case may be disbarred. It's a possibility that she will be disbarred. So the lead DA, the lead DA is basically going to have to take early retirement, and the judge is going to have to take an early retirement because of this case. And the last thing is this: Mr. Williams will walk. He will walk if he doesn't recuse himself from this case and let another judge take over this case with a whole different prosecution, because they're going to need a whole different prosecution up in those rooms, right? If that doesn't happen, if that does not happen, Mr. Williams will walk. And who is the reason for Mr. Williams walking on a homicide case? Is the Honorable Glenville, Mrs. Love, and Mrs. Hunter. Y'all gave him what's that game called? Monopoly, where you roll the dice and you pass go, or you land on jail and you gave him a free get out of jail card. Y'all let him walk. Y'all walked him. Y'all gave him a free out of jail pass. Free. And it's not funny, but it's like ironically, like in an ironic way, it's funny because I wonder what did they tell the person who passed parents. I wonder what did they tell them. And whatever they told him, I wonder what they're going to say once he walks, knowing that it was their fault. We still have an open case. It's still a, let me strike that. It's still a open case. It's still going on. They say it's going to be going on for at least until next year, 2025, of maybe September. I don't know, but they said next year. I mean, it's June now, so we can call it June of 2025 if you want. But that's how long this is supposed to go ahead and continue. Speaking of which, right, the information of the affidavit that Mr. Steele and Woody, old attorney, basically stated that the court, the DA, basically threatening little Woody. If he doesn't testify, he's going to be held in contempt for not only this case of Young Thug, but apparently they got like a basket full of other people that they finna go ahead and bring to trial. He's going to sit in prison or in jail until those cases is over with. So, like I said, doesn't that sound like bullying? You tell me. Drop some comments down there. Let's get a little discussion going on. If you want to know any information about trucking, go to YouTube, check me out, jninsky361. Learn how to become a trucker. You know, I give you some nice information, accurate information on how you can go ahead and become a trucker. What schools you can go to for trucking school, what's the best trucking company you can start off with comparing to those, that's not so great, and any other thing you may have on trucking. Jay Ninsky, I'm out.